evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. The city of Houston is still coping with massive flooding at this hour in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. It's awful. Waters are finally receding a bit, though. More than 20 have been confirmed killed so far. Today, rescue missions throughout the state saved many people from flooded neighborhoods. A nursing home was also finally evacuated from floodwaters. We'll bring you updates throughout the hour. Meanwhile, America is waking up to the menace of Antifa, the left-wing agitators who fight against oppression by violently oppressing those who oppose them. This past weekend, they got violent in Berkeley, California, and assaulted a whole bunch of people. After that, House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi had no choice but to admit they are out of control and issued a statement sort of condemning them. One of the people attacked by this group in Berkeley this past weekend was a Trump supporter called Keith Campbell. Watch this. Keith Campbell joins us tonight. Keith, you look like you were about to get really, really hurt, maybe killed. What was the predicate to that? What happened right before the tape we just played?
Well, I had gone to the park to see what was going on. I know there was a canceled Say No to Marxism rally, but I also knew that some people were going to show up. And so I wanted to go and observe what was going on, record what was going on. I think most people figured that Antifa would be there. And it was no surprise when they showed up. Earlier in the day, there was no problem. People were giving interviews. There was a heavy police presence both around the barricaded park and throughout the park, and there was no issue. But strangely enough, even though we weren't allowed to have any protective gear, helmets or anything, they let about 200 Antifa with masks just come right through one of the openings and start mixing with Trump supporters. And they immediately started ejecting Trump supporters. They would find someone and surround them and usher them out. But at that point, they weren't really attacking people because the police were there. But I couldn't believe that the police were actually letting them there.
I mean, how did the beating? Well, first of all, are you injured? I mean, I can't believe you got out of there. What are your injuries like?
Yeah, you know, I'm bruised ribs, bruised kidney. It wasn't torn. They did sonogram things just to make sure it wasn't torn. I got about 4 or 5 lumps on the back of my head. Scrapes, bruises, swelling, things like that. Nothing that won't heal.
Did these guys start hitting you without warning? How did the beating begin?
Well, you know, after the massive part of the black bloc came, the police disappeared, and then there was an announcement. The police have stood down, and then like a sea of black just like poured into the park, and then it started getting violent. So after a few minutes, I'm still filming, I'm still around them, and I noticed like a whole bunch of them go down Alston Way. So I go down there to see, okay, what's going on? They're following someone or something. So I went down there, and I'm filming, and then suddenly I hear someone go, you know, there's that racist blank blank that's doxing you and ruining your lives. And I started to turn. I thought, okay, I got to get out of here. I'm surrounded by Antifa. And I took maybe one step, and the first club smash knocked my camera and monopod out of my hand. And I thought, I'm just going to grab it and run. So I started to reach, and then they just started pounding me over the head. And
so you didn't say anything to them?
No. I'm always like a silent observer. For like 7 months, I go around, I observe, I record, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just shocked, and after the first few hits, I was stunned and dropped to the ground. Well,
there's this amazing moment. I don't know if our viewers watched it, but there's an African-American guy standing there in a red shirt. He's a lefty journalist, actually, named Al Letson. Mm-hmm. And he said later he thought you were going to get killed, and he dove on you and put his hands up, and people stopped hitting. Have you talked to him?
You know, I reached out to him on Twitter, and I definitely want to connect with him. I didn't know at the time that he had stopped it. I have very little recollection of what happened. I was sure I was going to die. I kind of made my peace. Yeah. I'm like, I hope it's quick because this is really painful.
He was sure you were going to die too.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it when they let me up, and I thought they were standing me up to finish the job or something to really get at me. And it's unbelievable that that man who doesn't know me and probably thought that I could be maybe an enemy. I mean, I don't know. People assume I'm all right, which is completely crazy, but he dove in rather than standing back and doing the journalistic thing. I mean, he saved my life.
Well, God bless him.
Incredible.
God bless him for doing that. Really quickly, you said you spent 7 months following Antifa around. Who are these people exactly, and what do they want, to the extent you can tell?
They think they're the anti-fascists, and and so then everyone else that they don't like or they disagree with is a fascist. And Trump supporters are all, they used to be Trump supporters are, white nationalist or alt-right. Now it's like graduated to anyone who supports Trump is a Nazi or a neo-Nazi, regardless of your skin color. And they believe that we've committed the first crime. We've committed the first crime by being a Nazi, so it's self-defense. And they don't believe it's even a crime to attack us, even unarmed. And that's what's been happening.
Doesn't look like America to me. Keith, congratulations on surviving that. I hope you hook up with Al Letson, and thanks for doing the show.
Thank you very much, Tucker.